the greatest hamburger place ever.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not actually, speaking of like just sort of open source and like looking at things openly, like I just like going in and out and seeing them make the burger.
Yeah, it's right there.
They chop the onions and they you just see everything getting made in front of you.
Yeah.
It's great. But yeah, it should be like, how many wake-up calls do you need?
And you got Gavin Newsom, who's running around saying we all have California derangement syndrome. He's just like ripping off Trump derangement and calling it California derangement. It's like, no. How many corporations have left California?
It's crazy. Like,
hundreds.
Yes, hundreds.
Right?
The clash between Joe Rogan and California Governor Gavin Newsom is getting even more intense. And now Elon Musk has stepped right into the middle of it. What began as a few sharp comments has turned into a full public fight, with Rogan tearing into Newsom's leadership and the state's most disputed policies. Musk also jumped in, adding his own blunt thoughts about where California is heading under Newsom. The whole situation has become a mix of heated debate, sharp humor, and political drama. There's a lot to unpack.
But there's always something. That's what's nuts. There's always some new law that's passed, some new insane thing that California's doing.
Yeah.
And it's like a giant chunk of it's happening in California. The most preposterous things that I get.
Yeah.
How many corporations have left California?
It's crazy. Like,
hundreds.
Yes, hundreds.
Right? Hundreds.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I think In-N-Out left.
Yeah, In-N-Out left. They moved to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, we can't do this anymore.
Right. And
it's the California company for food. It's
Yes.
like the greatest hamburger place ever.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not actually, speaking of like just sort of open source and like looking at things openly, I just like going in and out and seeing them make the burger.
California has watched a steady wave of major companies pack up and move out, and many people blame Governor Gavin Newsom's leadership for creating a business climate that feels harder to survive in. The list of departures includes some of the biggest names in the country. Tesla made headlines in 2021 when it left Palo Alto for Austin, saying the state's heavy rules, high living costs, and slow bureaucracy were choking innovation. Oracle made the same move a year earlier, choosing Texas for its lower taxes and easier environment. Even Chevron, a company tied to California for more than 100 years, moved its headquarters to Houston in 2024 after years of rising costs and strict regulations. Together, these exits show a worrying trend. The Golden State.
But yeah, it should be like, how many wake-up calls do you need to say that it needs to be reform in California? You know?
Well, the crazy thing that Newsom does is whenever someone brings up the problems in California, he starts rattling off all the positives. The most Fortune 500 companies, highest education. But yeah, that was all already there
right.
before you were governor.
But how many Fortune 500 companies have left California?
Right. And then you guys spent $24 billion on the homeless, and it got way worse.
Yes. Like the homeless population doubled or something. People don't understand like the homeless thing because it sort of preys on people's empathy. And I think we should have empathy and we should try to help people.
It's shocking when you really think about it. California has spent more than $24 billion trying to reduce homelessness, yet the problem has nearly doubled. At this point, most people aren't even surprised. The issue isn't just the funding, it's the approach. Instead of focusing on restoring communities and helping people truly get back on their feet, the state's policies have made street living feel like a long-term option. Large tent camps now cover sidewalks and parks once filled with families. Many government programs end up keeping people dependent rather than helping them move forward. The result is a painful cycle of wasted money.
The homeless industrial complex is really it's dark, man. That network of NGOs should be called like the drug zombie farmers, because the more homeless people and really like when you meet like somebody who's like totally dead inside, shuffling along down the street with a needle dangling out of their leg. Homeless is the wrong word. Like homeless implies that somebody got a little behind on their mortgage payments, and if they just got a job offer, they'd be back on their feet. But someone who's, you see these videos of people that are just shuffling, they're on the fentanyl, they're like, taking a dump in the middle of the street, and they got like open sores and stuff. they're not like one job offer away from getting back on their feet.
Musk isn't wrong. It's becoming clear that some organizations hide behind compassion while benefiting from a system that keeps money coming in but delivers almost no real improvement. Many people living on the streets aren't just facing bad luck. They're trapped in severe addiction and untreated mental health issues, with very little structure to help them recover. What they need isn't more speeches or oversized budgets. They need real solutions, stronger rehab programs, better access to mental health treatment, and focused support in areas hit hardest by drug use. Combine that with temporary housing and real job pathways, and recovery becomes possible. Until then, California will keep funding failure.
Homeless is it's a propaganda word,
Right.
So, and then the these sort of charities, in quotes, they get money proportionate to the number of homeless people or number of drug zombies.
Right.
So their incentive structure is to maximize the number of drug zombies, not minimize it.
Right.
That's why they don't arrest the drug dealers. Because if they arrest the drug dealers, the drug zombies leave. So they know who the drug dealers are. They don't arrest them on purpose, because otherwise the drug zombies would leave, and they would stop getting money from the state of California and from all the charities.
This situation is a serious warning, showing why California keeps spending huge amounts on homelessness while the crisis continues to grow. The uncomfortable truth is that much of the money never reaches the people living on the streets. Instead, it gets absorbed by layers of nonprofits, consultants, and government offices that focus more on paperwork and appearances than real progress. Good intentions end up buried under confusion, waste, and poor leadership. It's almost identical to when the Trump administration cut ties with certain USAID-supported groups after discovering that large portions of their budgets were going toward politics and office costs instead of real help. The same pattern is repeating in California. When money meant to save lives is used to support middlemen, the system stops serving the public and starts serving itself. California doesn't have a funding issue.
Is that real? So they're in coordination with law enforcement on this?
Yeah. This is a diabolical scam. And San Francisco's got this tax, this gross receipts tax, which it's not even on revenue; it's on all transactions, which is why Stripe and Square and a whole bunch of financial companies had to move out of San Francisco, because it wasn't a tax on revenue; it's a tax on transactions. So if you do trillions of dollars transactions, it's not revenue. You're taxed on any money going through the system in San Francisco, and that money goes to the homeless industrial complex. That tax that was passed. So there's billions of dollars that go, as you pointed out, that billions of dollars every year that go to these non-governmental organizations that are funded by the state.
San Francisco, once known as the shining center of innovation and tech success, is now watching its image fall apart as companies leave one after another. Overwhelming taxes, constant rules, and policies that seem to punish achievement have made it extremely hard for businesses to stay afloat, much less grow. A city that once represented energy and fresh ideas has become an example of how heavy regulations, soaring expenses, and political stubbornness can push even strong industries out. Many people place the blame on Governor Gavin Newsom. They argue that under his watch, California's economy has weakened, homelessness has exploded, and crime feels like a daily issue. Even as business owners and residents voice their concerns, Newsom continues with the same approach. Now frustration is rising. San Francisco, once known as the shining center of innovation and tech success, is now watching its image fall apart as companies leave one after another. Overwhelming taxes, constant rules, and policies that seem to punish achievement have made it extremely hard for businesses to stay afloat, much less grow. A city that once represented energy and fresh ideas has become an example of how heavy regulations, soaring expenses, and political stubbornness can push even strong industries out. Many people place the blame on Governor Gavin Newsom. They argue that under his watch, California's economy has weakened, homelessness has exploded, and crime feels like a daily issue. Even as business owners and residents voice their concerns, Newsom continues with the same approach. Now frustration is rising. If Elon Musk's claims are even partly true, California's homelessness crisis isn't just failing to improve. It may be kept alive by the same groups responsible for solving it. Musk suggests the system has turned into a full-blown industry made up of consultants, non-profit executives, and political advisors who benefit from constant government funding. Instead of tackling the real issues like addiction, mental illness, and unemployment, the state continues pouring billions into programs that sound impressive but accomplish very little. It creates the appearance of action while the situation grows worse. Musk argues that California's political leadership has turned the crisis into a talking point, using it to push themes of inequality and oppression, while huge amounts of taxpayer money vanish into bureaucracy. If that's true, the state isn't reducing homelessness, it's sustaining it. And now the problem has become a public safety emergency. In many cities, encampments are filled with open drug use, unpredictable behavior, and rising violence. Residents say they no longer feel safe walking in their own neighborhoods. Small businesses are suffering from theft, vandalism, and constant property damage. Police are overwhelmed, torn between enforcing laws and handling a humanitarian disaster. More and more people believe the surge in crime is directly linked to the uncontrolled growth of homelessness. Joe Rogan said what many people have been thinking but were afraid to say. Too many individuals are benefiting from a system that actually rewards failure. And that's a big reason why California's homelessness crisis never ends. An entire network has formed around it, politicians repeating the same talking points, consultants earning huge checks from state contracts, and nonprofits receiving constant funding while the situation keeps worsening. It's the only explanation for how billions can disappear every year with almost no visible improvement. And then came the moment that exposed everything. When China's President Xi Jinping visited San Francisco, Governor Gavin Newsom cleared homeless encampments almost overnight. Years of excuses disappeared in a single day simply because the state suddenly had the will to act. That moment proved the crisis isn't impossible to fix. It's just inconvenient for those who profit from it. As Rogan pointed out, California's leaders seem more focused on image than solutions. The state doesn't lack the ability to clean up it. When the far left decides they're against someone, they don't hold back. They go straight for that person's name and reputation. Joe Rogan and Elon Musk are perfect examples. The tactic never changes: drag someone through the mud, twist their message, and turn them into a villain. Headlines get distorted, clips are taken out of context, and outrage is pushed non-stop. Rogan was labeled a danger for having open conversations, while Musk was called a threat to democracy simply for taking over Twitter and standing up for free speech. We've seen the same thing happen to Donald Trump and anyone who stands with him. Non-stop attacks, investigations, and a media machine determined to silence anyone who steps outside the approved narrative. It's not really about honesty or fairness, it's about power. If you disagree with their worldview, you instantly become an enemy. California's homelessness disaster is part of the same pattern. Broken incentives, hypocrisy, and political games keep the system running while taxpayers lose billions. The truth is simple: the state could fix this, but doing so would disrupt the money and influence tied to keeping it unsolved. And that wraps up today's breakdown. If this open